Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning to you. Welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. And again, this is what I call my Morning Musings. Now, you'll notice a difference in the background here, and that's because my bookshelves are gone. Now, I'm going to try to film a little bit of my office space here. Unfortunately, my cables are very, very short, very limited. But for the last 4 days or so, my wife and I have been deeply, hectically involved in moving out. As I've shared with you, the building where we've had our offices since 2006, excuse me, the building sold. And we were given notice that we have to get out. That has thrown us into a tailspin. And the difficulty is, as I've shared with you, that rental space here in Ardmore, the prices are equivalent to those in Dallas, maybe even higher. It's beyond belief how much rental space is for here in Ardmore. Just to give you, for instance, before we ever rented these offices, we checked on a couple of offices, and for a 12 by 12, okay, 12 by 12, let's face it, that's not very big. And to give you some idea of our problem, my library spans three separate rooms, here, and here. And it has taken us, like 3 separate trips of taking my books in boxes to storage. So a 12 by 12 room, before we rented this, the rent for that 12 by 12 was $1,200 a month. And that's plus utilities and, of course, plus insurance. So needless to say, that's really, really expensive. Well, anyway, slightly over a week ago, and I'm going to try to post on Facebook some pictures of what's going on at our property. We own an acre of land out east of town. We have a shop there. It's 24 by 24, and that shop has served as storage for my stuff, car stuff. And really, honestly, and you can tell, these pictures on my on my monitor here, I love cars. But anyway, we signed a contract to take the 24 by 24 building. I've been in the process of moving everything out. It's going to be converted into office space, but we're going to add 24 by 28 to it and convert the whole thing into office space. Now, needless to say, that's not cheap. And I was telling somebody the other day, I never envisioned having to start over at 72 years old with a house payment. But we've had to get we are in the process of getting home equity loan. But investing in our own property is certainly far, far, far better than paying somebody else rent that is just, basically throwing it away. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at, right? And so I am sitting in the midst of my office space that is just in a shambles. Boxes here, boxes there, boxes here, boxes everywhere. And my wife, bless her heart, she got a bad back. And we were joking yesterday that after these several days of, really, really intensive labor, especially for her, because she's just not in great physical condition. But she is hurting in places that she had forgotten she had places. Bless her heart. But she's a trooper. She is working hard. She basically dies when we go home. She hits the bed, takes some Motrin to take away the pain and what have you. So that's kind of where we're at. That's our little saga right now. As I've explained to people, look, I'm not whining and I'm not complaining. Well, I am a little bit about having to move out. I've really enjoyed this office space. But you know what? Life happens. And we deal with life. We don't let things that happen to us in this life defeat us. We just don't. That's my philosophy, at least. So, while it's certainly a mess, and like I said, I'm going to try to take a little bit of footage of the condition of my office. And you can tell, well, no, you can't really, but I'll try to get it in the video. Instead of my beautiful desk, that was a gift to me many, many years ago, I've got a little bitty folding table here that if you just bump it ever so slightly, it just it crashes right over. So it's not much of a table, but hey, it is what it is. So anyway, all right, all of that, right? Welcome back to Morning Musings. Now, we will be closing down this office, Lord willing, this week. I'm going to try, not sure how successful it's going to be, but I'm going to try to begin filming from home with my little desktop camera. Now, that's what I use for doing Two Guys and a Bible on Fulfilled Radio, and the video is not bad. But here's the problem. I normally film early of a morning, 3:30, 4:30 of a morning, and my wife has said, you won't be doing that at the house. Here's my computer desk with my little camera. There's the bedroom, through the wall, and my wife says, verboten, no filming, no talking out loud at 4:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to have to figure out a way. It may be that I film of an evening and, then proceed like that. But I'm going to work on this. In the meantime, there are probably going to be several days of no filming. I'm going to ask my fantastic webmaster, Alan Morton, to do some reruns. Now, this is Monday, all right, and I'm going to contact Alan today and have him start doing some reruns of previous programs, perhaps some of them that have gotten the most views. And I can't promise you how many that will be. I cannot promise you how long that will be because of how disruptive everything is for us right now. But, okay, I did want to share with you a little bit as a continuation of our last video. Now, this is video number 600, if my count is correct. In our study of the Olivet Discourse, Matthew chapter 25, 31 and following has been the focus of our attention now for a good long while, demonstrating the following. If it can be proven that Matthew chapter 25, 31 and following was fulfilled in AD 70, then all claims that the Olivet Discourse is divided into two subjects, i.e., the fall of Jerusalem into the Old Covenant age in AD 70, and then a discussion of the so-called end of time, that view is completely falsified. That was the view of Lorraine Bettner, very, very popular postmillennial author, and it was the view in which I was raised as a young man. But once again, if it can be demonstrated that Matthew chapter 25, 31 and following was fulfilled in AD 70, then folks, essentially all futurist eschatology dies, and it dies on that hill. So what I've been doing with you is sharing with you the connection between Daniel 12. So here are the connections that I have been and that I will be as soon as I can pick back up developing. Daniel chapter 12 is the time of the resurrection, the time of the kingdom, the time of the harvest. Matthew chapter 25, 31 and following is the end of the age, the time of the harvest, the time of the resurrection, the time of the kingdom. But Daniel chapter 12 is emphatically and very specifically posited to be fulfilled at the time when the power of the holy people has been completely shattered. Daniel chapter 12, verse 7. Well, that's getting slightly ahead of myself. What I've been doing is doing a verse-by-verse exegesis of Daniel chapter 12, demonstrating that some of the attempts that are made to negate that application to AD 70 are not valid objections. So, last week, I shared with you that Jesus, in his ministry, demonstrated, proved beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he and his apostles were living in the very time foretold by Daniel. Here's what I mean by that. Daniel was given a vision of the time of the Great Tribulation. Daniel was given a vision and told about the time of the resurrection. He was told about the time of the end. He was told about the time in which the righteous would shine forth in the kingdom. That's Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 to 4. Now, then Daniel, although he saw the vision, notice Daniel chapter 12, verse 8. I heard, but I did not understand. And then watch what happens. He, that's the angel, said, Go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up until the time of the end. Now look, folks, the time of the end is the time of the Great Tribulation. It's the time of the resurrection. It's the time of the righteous shining forth in the kingdom. We've already examined Matthew chapter 13 on this. And the angel continues. Pardon me. Many will be purified, made white, and refined. The wicked will do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Now, I just want to make this really brief diversion. And notice the parallel between Daniel chapter 12, verse 10, the wicked will do wickedly. In Revelation chapter 22 and verse 11, after the urgency of the prediction of verse 12, in which John was told, do not seal the words of this vision, for the time is at hand, in stark contrast with Daniel chapter 12. Okay, but notice, the angel told John, let the wicked remain wicked. Okay, Daniel is told, at the time of the end, the wicked shall do wickedly. And here, John, writing about the events of the end, in contrast to Daniel, who was told, seal up the book because it's for a long time off, John is told, do not seal the book because the time is at hand, and let the wicked remain wicked. The wicked will do wickedly, let the wicked do wickedly. Folks, it's the same concept. Trouble of it is, John is told that time had arrived. He was living in that time in which the wicked would do wickedly. Oh, by the way, let me ask the futurists who are viewing, who might view, if you believe that Revelation is not yet fulfilled, do you preach the message, let the wicked remain wicked? Look, if you're going to extrapolate the fulfillment of Revelation for 2,000 years, then the message of the church should have been for 2,000 years. Do not seal the vision of the prophecy of this book because the time is at hand, so let the wicked remain wicked. Seriously? Folks, that doesn't work, and you know it doesn't work. The message of the book of Revelation was so imminent, near, coming soon, quickly, and shortly. It was so imminent to occur. Not possibly, not could be, not in some vague, generic, elastic, plastic, silly dough time, but objectively near that John would say, let the wicked remain wicked. That's the Father telling John to tell it. So I suggest, ladies and gentlemen, that this comparison between Daniel chapter 12, when we understand that Daniel chapter 12 is Matthew chapter 25, 31 and following. After all, almost everyone agrees The resurrection of Daniel 12 is Matthew chapter 25, 31 and following. Well, the great white throne judgment of Revelation chapter 20 is the judgment of Matthew 25, 31 and following. So that means that the great white throne judgment of Revelation chapter 22, being the great white throne judgment of Revelation chapter 20, is the judgment of Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give to every man according to his work. And it's that judgment that was so near, so close, so imminent, that John was told, let the wicked remain wicked. So let me reiterate this, ladies and gentlemen. If you are going to extrapolate the fulfillment of Revelation 2,000 years and counting into the future, then your message must be, let the wicked remain wicked. Do you preach that message? If you don't, and yet you apply Revelation to the future, you're not being consistent with the urgency and really the mandate of Revelation chapter 22. Okay, I'm out of time. So, let me do this. I want to get back when I pick up. Somebody might send me a message to remind me. I mean, it's all here. But anyway, I'm going to get back when I pick up with my videos. I'm going to get back to the concept that Daniel was told. You know, Daniel says, I heard the vision. I saw the vision. I did not understand. But Daniel was told, Daniel, seal up the words until the time of the end. Oh, by the way, you're going to die, Daniel. And you're going to rest until the time of the end. And you're going to rise to your inheritance. That's resurrection. But in the meantime, many shall be purified and made white, refined. The wicked shall do wickedly. None of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Ladies and gentlemen, please catch the power of this. In the New Testament, over and over and over again, Jesus said to his apostles, they were living, number one, in the time of the end foretold by the Old Testament prophets. Number two, over and over again, Jesus opened their eyes to understand the Old Testament prophecies. Number three, Jesus even asked his apostles if they understood the prophecies of the end of the age, one of those prophecies being Daniel chapter 12. And he gave them the explanation of that prophecy, and he asked them, do you understand? And they said, yes. What could be clearer than the fact that Daniel foretold the time of the end in which the wicked would not understand, and Jesus said the Jews at large did not, but that the wise would, and he said his apostles were given the key to understanding. How powerful is that? Okay, well, this is Don K. Preston signing off of my morning musings, hopefully for not very long. Okay, going to do my best to get back at it. In the meantime, I got to get busy packing. All right? Keep us in your prayers. Final thought. Thank you so much for those of you who have sent a contribution. Doesn't matter how small it is. Pardon me. Absolutely does not matter. The fact is, you're helping us at this time of crisis when we truly need it. So, thanks again. I'll see you on the flip side, hopefully very, very soon. God bless.